back. If you just fill that out, let us know that you're with us today. When the offering baskets come by in a little while, if you stick that card in there, we'd love to drop you an email or a phone call to tell you thanks for stopping by. A lot of very special friends here, and appreciate you stopping by today. Let me tell you a couple things coming up. On Sunday nights, every week, Spanish ministry meets here, and as well as our youth from 6:30 to 8. And if those are needs for you, please be here. Wednesday night, we are finishing up our relationship series. And in this room at 7, we're going to have a time of music and some sharing of things that you've learned from the series at the beginning of the year on finances, as well as through the series on relationships. So we encourage you to be here. When I was a kid, it was testimony night. So be your time for you to come and share kind of what you've learned. Spring break starts Friday. Anybody excited about that? Yeah. All right, just don't be like Charlie Brown. Do sunscreen. All right, well, be safe. We know some of you will be traveling, and we want you to go and have a good time as families. But be careful and watch out for the sharks. Friday night, the kids are having a movie night, movie and pizza here, called Kids Night In. It's right there. And you need to sign up today, though, so that we know how many people to plan on. It runs from 6:30 to 10. I think it's $9 maximum per family. You can sign up with Leslie in the lobby. Easter extravaganza is coming up. This is the Saturday of Easter weekend, big carnival, blow-up games, blow-up people, throw water balloons. No, we don't blow up any people. We have a dunk tank, though, and some other things, but you're welcome to participate. It's absolutely free. We give away free hot dogs and all that good stuff. We are collecting candy. There's a bin in the lobby. If you would just drop some candy in there. We're hoping to get 5,000 pieces of candy. Those of you that are guests with us, you can be on our email newsletter list. You can do it by signing up at friendscc.com. It's called E-Link. It comes every Friday. That's how everybody around here knows what's going on. And so if you're kind of out of the loop, make sure you're on that list. The series now is called Got Your Ticket. And you all have a ticket, but nobody had the winning ticket. But the idea is this, is that we're living in a culture right now where everybody's betting on something, and everybody's hoping somebody else is going to come save them. And so I figured we'd talk about things that we can base our life on. And so the real question isn't, do you have your lotto ticket? The question is, do you have the answer for the things that you're searching for? So next week is, do you have your ticket on how to raise great kids? So and the series will run from now until Easter. But I want to tell you a story. This is a true story. This guy's named Larry Walters. He's from Laguna, California. And I don't know what got into Larry. I don't know if it was some kind of substance. I don't know what it was. But Larry was sitting in his backyard one day and got the idea that he was kind of bored, kind of tired of sitting around with his little fenced yard and everybody else in their fenced yard. He wanted some adventure. And so Larry, again, I don't know what he was thinking, he decided to go buy 36 weather balloons. 36 weather balloons. And he filled them with helium. 36 weather balloons tied to a lawn chair. And Larry Walters decided he wanted to see L.A. And so his chair became elevated. And it cleared the trees, and it cleared his neighborhood. And at one point, planes coming into LAX airport were calling into the tower saying, what is this thing floating? He made it, maybe some people say as high as 10,000 feet. That's cold up there. I don't know if you know that or not. But this is kind of, the guy decides he wants to have an adventure. This is what it looked like. You know, this isn't actually him. This is actually somebody who did it since then. But you can imagine a dude in a lawn chair with 36 balloons. Now he's up there where the planes are flying, and he has a problem. He has to get out. But Larry was smart. Larry took a BB gun with him. And one by one shot the helium balloons to where the chair eventually came down. And there were people by that time following with TV cameras trying to figure out who this weirdo was in the chair, right? He comes to land in a field. And the TV cameras run up to him and say, what is going through your mind? What are you thinking? And this was his answer. Sears makes a really good lawn chair. That was his answer. He's not real smart. Okay? Let me tell you the sad part. Larry, because he's on all the talk shows, he was in the newspaper, all that stuff. Larry became kind of a legend. 2 years later, Larry Walters committed suicide. And the reason is, maybe, couldn't find an adventure. Couldn't find something to bet his life on. Couldn't find something that mattered. So he went out and risked his life, and that wasn't good enough. and the guy ultimately took his own life. And that's a tragic story, but in a way, that's really who we are as a culture. Because we're all on a search, trying to find out where we fit and do we matter. And if I left, would anybody care? That's kind of the mission that plagues a lot of people in our culture. And not only that, but the question is, do you know what you're aiming for? Because if you don't know what you're aiming for, you'll never hit it. I was playing golf with a friend of mine, his name's Peter, and there were two guys playing along with us, and the two guys were horrible. I mean, they were horrible, pathetic. And I said to Peter, I said, you know what, for $20 in 30 minutes, I could go fix that guy's swing. I said, that is pitiful. And Peter said, no, what's pitiful is he thinks he's playing golf. Okay, to him, that was golf. The same thing's true for you and me. If we don't know what we're aiming for, if we don't know what we're trying to hit, we'll never know if we ever hit the target, let alone the bullseye. I don't know if you know this or not, but you're not going to get a bailout. And the odds of you winning the lotto are like 1 in millions and millions and millions. When I was a financial advisor, we had a saying, the lotto is a retirement plan for people who are really bad at math. Okay? But chances are, nobody's going to come save you. Mom and Dad might save you for a while, maybe Grandma and Grandpa will save you, maybe some friends will bail you out. But ultimately, where you end up is up to you, and it's up to me. The only thing that you can count on is not the administration. The only thing you can count on are things that are true. Because truth doesn't change. What was true will always be true. What was false will always be false. Because that's why they're called true and false. They never were true, or they always were true. And so you and I got to figure out how we're going to come to an understanding of what it is to be prosperous people. We live in the richest land in the world. And we have some of you that are here that came to the United States, that after being here for a while, you would probably come to the place of saying, the United States isn't perfect, but it's still the best place on the face of the earth. People from all over the world send their kids to go to college here. They come here for health care. They come here for the opportunities. Why? Because we are the land of opportunity. But the question is, what really makes us prosperous? What will make you prosperous? How do you know when you've hit the target? How do you know when you've hit the bullseye? God, teach us today about prosperity. Teach us what it is to understand our wealth and the things that really matter. In Jesus' name, amen. We're going to play the lotto for a minute. I've never played the lotto. I've never bought a lotto ticket. I might be the only person in the room to say that, but I never have. But your first lucky lotto number tonight, boys and girls, is 1. That's what goes in your sheet in the first play. That's the first round. There's 5 numbers in the lotto, is my understanding, plus 6 if you play Powerball, right? Okay? So your first number is 1. Your second number is 7. Those are your first 2 lucky numbers tonight. Tonight's winning drawing is 1 and 7. All right? What's that got to do with anything? Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, or of knowledge. And it says, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Discipline doesn't mean correction like being spanked. Discipline means structure. It means the disciplines to get your life in order. That's what that means. What's the point? I've always wondered what this verse means. Why would I want to fear God? God doesn't want me to fear Him. He loves me. Well, you got to know who the biggest kid on the block is. In my neighborhood, it was Scott Reinhardt. Okay? The boy was 11 years old, had tattoos. Did them himself. Okay? He was big. And he was mean. And when we played flag football, or we played tackle football especially, you always had to know where Scott Reinhardt was. And if you were going out for a pass, you wanted to make sure Scott Reinhardt was nowhere near you, because he could knock you in the next week. Okay? You've got to know who the biggest kid on the block is. The point being that if you don't know who the biggest kid on the block is, you're going to get your clock clean. And when we realize that God is who He really says He is, what it shows is that we're smart. We figured it out. God's big, we're not. Okay? So the fear of the Lord isn't like I'm afraid of Him, it's respect. It's respect. If you want to see respect, come on Monday or Thursday night to the karate group and watch the way that the men and the ladies are there respect Ralph. Ralph is the sensei, he's the teacher. And when he walks in the door, they all yell something, I can't even say what it is, but they all stop what they're doing when the highest ranked person walks in the room. Okay? My children do that for me at home. I go, yeah! Bet on that. Yeah. If you don't acknowledge God's who He is, basically you're being foolish. Because God is the biggest kid on the block. I don't know if you know that or not, but you know, Mama brought you in, take you out. Well, God's bigger than Mama, believe it or not. Okay? So the fear of the Lord is just the respect